Well, this first story, an i24NEWS exclusive. With less than 3 months before the World Cup kicks off in Qatar, Israel has been upping its efforts to facilitate the arrival of thousands of Israelis to the Gulf nation. Negotiations between the two countries have failed over Israel's demand to make them public. All of this happening ahead of a planned phone call between Israeli Foreign Minister and Interim Prime Minister Yair Lapid and their Qatari counterpart Sheikh Mohammed bin Abdulrahman Al Thani. Prime Minister Lapid wanted to make the call public, a demand that Doha rejected. The planned call was considered a preliminary conversation ahead of a future phone call between Lapid and the Emir of Qatar, Sheikh Tamim bin Hamad Al Thani. The talks were aimed at opening an Israeli consular office in Doha that would manage affairs for Israeli nationals attending the World Cup. Let's bring in Guy Azriel, head of our flashes here at the i24NEWS desk. He joins me live in studio. Good afternoon to you. Guy, Israel and Qatar, as we all know, do not have diplomatic relations, with Qatar being a fierce supporter of the Palestinians and their cause. The Qataris said no to making this call public with the Israelis. Walk us through the series of events here.
Hey, Hamda. Yes, it's an incredible story about secret diplomacy and the very fragile relations that Israel has with its neighbors, particularly over there in the Gulf. So 3 months to go into the World Cup games. Back in June, it was announced that Israelis will be able to travel to Qatar. The then just foreign minister Yair Lapid said it is a great achievement for the state of Israel that Israeli fans will finally be able to travel to Qatar. And ever since then, the Israeli foreign ministry has been working very hard to facilitate the entrance of these Israelis into Qatar, basically to supply them with consular services in case they get arrested, in case someone gets injured. Those secret talks have been going on for months with the Qataris, where the climax was a phone call that was expected between Yair Lapid and his Qatari counterpart in the coming days. That conversation was agreed to by the Qataris, but then it failed when Foreign Minister and Interim Prime Minister Yair Lapid insisted of making that call public. That is very problematic for the Qataris, and with that demand of Yair Lapid, the Qataris cancel the entire idea. There's no more phone call. There will not be a phone call with the Emir, and there will not be an Israeli mission that will travel to Qatar to supply consular services for Israelis who travel there.
Well, as part of our exclusive reporting here at i24NEWS, in this story, Israel was actually hoping that the office would then continue operating in Qatar as a permanent presence. So what will the absence of this office mean now for Israel? Were they hoping to inch toward relations with the Gulf state?
Yeah, very interestingly, first, Qatar was the first Gulf nation to establish some sort of diplomatic ties with Israel already back in 1996 with a financial office that was opened there back until year 2000, and then eventually terminating their diplomatic relations with Israel in 2009. But the consequences for the thousands of Israeli fans that will travel to Qatar is severe. As we said, if they get injured, if they get robbed out of their wallets, if they get arrested, if they get caught drinking, there's no one to take care of them. And I just spoke to a former Israeli ambassador who told me every Israeli who travels to Qatar now without an Israeli consular office there should think very carefully about whether he should travel, because there will be no one from the Israeli government to be there to help him in case of need.
Well, we do know back in June, Israel announced that their citizens would be able to attend the World Cup in Qatar, saying the move would open a new door to the country that they don't have diplomatic relations with. A lot unfolding since that. But are we hearing any response from the foreign ministries of either country?
Right. So first, just to speak about the dates, we're 3 months away from the World Cup, but we're also 2 months away from Israeli elections right here on November 1st. And many would question the insistence of Lapid to make that phone call public against the will of the Qataris, and we'll see the reactions coming from there. But although we have checked our sources and we're very certain of our story, about the validity of our story, the Foreign Ministry, after consulting with the Office of Prime Minister Yair Lapid, by the way, came out with the following statement saying the story is incorrect.
Well, our I24 News exclusive reporting here. Guy Azriel, head of our flashes here at the I24 News Desk, joining us on this exclusive story. Thank you.